The way girls experience friendships in adolescence often becomes the blueprint for how they approach relationships as adults. And girl drama is often dismissed as just part of growing up, but experts say these moments really matter. In her new book, Drama Decoded, author Sheri Gazitt shares how these friendships shape self-worth, trust, and how girls learn to navigate conflict. The teen coach and now author is back on New Day. Always love when you're here. Hello.
Love to be here.
So let's start with congratulations in order with the new book.
Thank you.
Was this a long time in the making?
Yes, very long time in the making. I would say 15 years since I started. I thought this is something that I need to get done, but I was so busy private coaching and doing presentations and stuff, and it just got pushed on the back burner. But I thought it was really important because it's like a guide for parents and how to empower their daughters. And so I really needed to put it front and center, and so that's what I did. Finally got it done.
I'm so glad that it's out here now for parents, and everybody really should be reading this. And when we hear girl drama, what's actually happening, would you say, beneath the surface?
I mean, there's so much that's happening. A lot of times we dismiss it as girls are just mean, which I really hate that phrase. It's a filter in which we look for these mean things. It's just girls are learning how to have relationships. And especially when they hit middle school, it's about having a really deep friendship instead of just who's in your class, right, and who you happen to see. So it gets really complicated, and they're wired biologically to have these intense friendships. So it's really important to them. So when you see this behavior that we think of as girl drama, it's really that desperation to keep their friendships, to keep their social status.
Yeah, and do you see this then starting in middle school age is kind of when girl drama, or even earlier now?
It starts earlier,
really?
But in middle school it really starts to bloom, let's say, because their brain's remodeling, so they're able to see how they compare to others a little bit more, and to understand their identity a bit more as they're exploring that. So it really starts to get intense in middle school.
And speaking of intense, conflict obviously happens. So is conflict in friendships always a bad thing?
No, because they're learning. When they have that conflict, they learn. But this is why it's so important that we help them, because they're learning how to deal with conflict. So is it the mean, nasty behaviors? Is it how to have a great, compassionate conversation? They need to know all those things, but we have to guide them. Otherwise, they don't always have the right pattern that they're creating.
Definitely. And girl drama, a lot of times people just say, oh, this is just part of growing up. Or like you said, like girls are mean, it happens when they're young. Why is that a problem?
Well, we need to guide them more. And as I said, a lot of times people say girls are just mean, and that's not the way to deal with it, because they aren't just mean. It's just that they're having these moments, and it's not fair that we are just dismissing it like that. So when we step in and guide them, they're learning patterns for life.
And I want to talk about that, how this impacts women, later in life with relationships, with friends, and even probably romantically.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's the patterns. And in middle school, really, they're learning patterns. Their brain is learning patterns. So if they learn toxic friendships, for instance, that can translate into a negative romantic relationship. When they get into adulthood and have adult friends, it can still be around, that they are not learning how to have a conflict with a friend that they care about. Instead, it's mean or talking about them behind their back. So we've got to guide them instead of dismiss this.
Is this a guidebook then for people to look and kind of figure out if even you yourself are doing some things that you're talking about for help?
Yeah, this is a way for parents to pick up a book that's not really dense. It's not like 300 pages.
Textbook, yeah.
Right, it is a guidebook. I like the way you put that.
And what's something parents can say that truly helps in the moment of friend drama? I have a lot of friends that are parents that sometimes are just like, I don't know what to say. It's changed so much from when we were younger.
Yeah, there's a lot in the book of not to say, for sure, the things to stay away from. What I would lean into is finding their power. What are their choices in that moment, rather than just dismissing it? It's no big deal. Why do you care what they think? And to say, what can you do? What do you want to do? How are you feeling about this? So they can recognize their choices. I think that's the biggest piece. What is their choice? Because you as a parent can't change everything. They can't change everything as a teen, but you can say, what can you do?
Definitely. And when should adults step in?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
We tend to step in too soon, which disempowers our girls and doesn't give them the opportunity to learn the skills. So we need to step in when it's ongoing, it's escalating, and there's an emotional toll on your daughter. Now, that doesn't always mean going to the school, which I don't recommend that most times. Doesn't always mean contacting another parent. It means to be there for your daughter. Maybe she needs therapy or a coach or something along those lines.
Definitely. Where can people get the book? And congratulations again.
This is on Amazon, so everybody can get it there. And yeah, I'm excited for people to read it. Give me feedback.
Oh my gosh, what's next? Another book?
Oh, yes, I'm looking at another book. Yes, good question. The next one will be for the teens themselves.
Oh, okay. Are we going in the same style, maybe of a little guidebook we're calling it?
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much. I know you're busy, and I'm so glad you got this front and center so parents can pick it up. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you.